this game is probably going to take me the rest of the night in terms of takes and shit to narrate. It is just a pain in the ass, but it was a really good game. It was a standard match I had against MrMet620, and I'm kind of just using spikes and toxic spikes, and then I had recently salved up a Celebi because I just got done reading Percy Jackson, and I was like, we'll bring the Oracle, and then I have other things, and then that's really all you have to know. Like, this team is actually, it doesn't really like rocks too much, but whatever. We'll just jump right into it, I guess. Holy shit, that was an awkward beginning. But I decided to lead off with Scrafty. On the off chance, it's going to lead with T-Tar, because I was like, you know what? If he just gets the weather up right now, then he just benefits for it for the rest of the game, you know. I would just get that residual damage going. But it turns out he leads with Scizor, expecting my Scrafty. Or I don't know. It was just a good thing for him to lead off with. And he's got like 3 things that have U-turn-esque moves or U-turn. Landorus having U-turn, Scizor having U-turn, and Rotom having Volt Switch. So he's got Volt turning going on. In case you're not familiar with the term, and it's fucking annoying as hell. I can't deny that it works, but I can definitely say that it just pissed me the fuck off in this game, because he goes out to a threat, or he gets out of one unfavorable scenario, puts himself in a better one, and then, granted, yeah, that's how it works. I'm kind of just being really obvious here, but I'm not really feeling good about this game just right off the bat, just because of that. But he goes for a Pursuit instead of a U-turn, which gives me a free turn to go into Scarm. He's not going to keep pursuing this thing, so I'm going to go ahead and start setting up hazards, because I noticed that he doesn't have, he didn't have a spinner. Now, I do have a spinner, but the thing that I want to do with my spinner is, I don't really know why I brought it, but then again, I guess it's kind of cool. I guess I'm really just keeping it around as backup for Volcarona, because Volcarona really does need the spin support. I'm kind of rambling just because the turns just all seem the same. Like, Rotom versus Celebi is a matchup you're going to see a lot in this game. Same as him switching out or Volt switching from Rotom to Latias, and it's just, wow. It is fucking wow. But I believe I went like 3/4 of the game thinking that that Rotom was scarfed, and had I known that it wasn't, I probably would have acted on it sooner. Holy shit. I should have just T-waved it or something, and then just gotten that whole shit over with. But there was a play earlier, too, I believe, where I didn't HP Fire the Scizor, because I do have HP Fire on this thing, and that would have benefited me a lot later in the game, too, for reasons and stuff. I'll point them out later, but there was just a lot of things early game that really do come back to bite me in the ass and just give me a way harder time later game. But I haven't really been talking about said game. As you can see, you know, he decides to switch out as I set up a layer of spikes, and he can't go for the Volt Switch right here if he really wants to. I decided I'm going to stay in and take it, because I'm sick of him having the fucking advantage in terms of what he switches into. I don't like taking that hit, but he goes into his Terrakion. At the very least, I get a little bit of spikes damage, and it turns out I whirlwind him right the fuck back into that Rotom, and it's pissing me off. It really is. But decide to I believe just hard switch out into Celebi, and he can just Volt Switch right out into either Landorus or Scizor. Landorus, you know, having the U-turn, that kind of shit. I don't want to take a 4-time super effective U-turn. And I've sped up this portion of the game just because that's really all it is. Take the U-turn pretty good, even though that was a crit, so he is starting to get a little bit of hacks. But goes into Rotom, and now we're just back to where we were at square one, where we were like 8 turns ago, and like absolutely nothing happened. Congratulations. But decide to go out into Celebi right here. He does miss a Hydro Pump, though. Don't really see that as being too crucial in the long run. I don't know how the game would have panned out otherwise. I decided to go for a T-Wave right here just to try to paralyze it, because I was like, this thing is scarfed, and that's how we're going to deal with it, because he was bluffing it pretty good, or I just wasn't paying attention to lefties, that kind of thing. But I probably just wasn't paying attention to lefty. That's probably what happened. But I switch out into Scarm just to try to face this thing out. He double switches out into T-Tar. Now, I'm still really not too scared of T-Tar. You know, just because the special defensive variant does carry Fire Blast, and I know I'm faster, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Roost just to get some HP back. He decides to set up some hazards. I guess given the length of the game, I wouldn't call it late game at all, but he definitely could have done it a lot sooner. But set up some spikes as I try to get scout his moveset a little bit, and he goes for the superpower. In case you didn't really see what was happening here. I'm just going to roost up until he doesn't feel comfortable going for superpowers anymore and decides to go out into something else, and then I'll just be good to go. But I guess I predict the switch here and whirlwind out the Rotom, which is really fucking annoying me right here. This Rotom just haunts me. That Rotom in particular. But goes for Stone Edge, does X amount of damage. Probably should have paid attention to that amount of damage. It will come back into play later. But since he was so intent on the idea of Volt turning and just getting a lot of switching going around, and then, I don't know, it was with that black spot. I don't feel like editing it out. Whatever, this file is fucking long as fuck anyway. But going for some more superpowers, that kind of thing. As you can see, it's really not doing too much. Just phasing some more. That's why I sped this part up. And then this is how I pick up the slack from earlier. I wasn't getting enough damage. Here we see that he's a Life Orb Terrakion. Kind of cool and kind of not. Cool just because I know this thing isn't Scarfed and I can outspeed it with my Staraptor if this plan of mine does happen to go south. But I am going to decide to go into my Celebi to take said close combat because I am within killing range at this point, if you saw how much close combat was doing on the other ones. And I'm physically defensive, so I should be able to take this. Okay, now, the thing that I'm thinking that he probably has is the X-Scissor. So I am going to go ahead and switch out into my Staraptor to take said X-Scissor. Would have been bad if he didn't have it and he just decided to go for the Stone Edge. I don't know how that would have fucking worked out, but I probably would have had an opportunity to whirlwind this thing in or whatever. I don't really know how that would have panned out. But as it turns out, he actually does have X-Scissor, and he probably wasn't expecting Scarf at all, but I'm just going to go for that. Now here I make a really stupid move, just because I do have a Rapid Spinner, and I was like, I'm just going to leave this thing in to take a hit from Scizor. I was pretty set on the idea that he was going to go for the U-turn, just to try to get some switch advantage, you know, maybe convinced that I would die to the Sandstorm or something like that. But right here, I decide after my Staraptor dies that I'm going to Rapid Spin, which makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Whatever. But I don't think T-Tar's dead either, but at least the rocks are gone. Volcarona is now good to go, and we are almost at the halfway point of this game. Mother of God, this is... oh, shit. Okay, so Volcarona comes in. I do recognize that Volcarona and Scrafty are going to be my only answers to that Latias. Scrafty wouldn't even be as much of an answer. These guys wouldn't be, just because they both need to set up to be faster than Latias. So I'm glad I T-Waved it. In fact, I think that's the only thing I can do to it, but I decided to go out into Celebi just because I didn't like that current situation. And take a Hydro Pump. Does a lot of damage. Now, here's where I'm kind of scared, just because Lefty's going to bring me back up to the same amount. But if you remember the amount of HP I had before, that's around the amount that I have left. So I don't know how kind damage variation is going to be here. But thankfully, I live it, and it's okay, and I recover it off, and I'm good to go to even take a critical hit, I believe. Maybe. I don't know. Could be talking out my ass, but I'm good to go to take a regular Hydro Pump for sure. You know, hacks happens, but he's not going to want to do that, and I guess I wasn't paying attention to lefties here. I definitely could have Giga Drained him. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Or did I go for it here? No. Okay, went for the recover. It's going to bring me back up to full, brought me back from the brink of 11 HP, and that's okay. That's pretty cool too. So, now, I don't want to take a ×4 super effective U-turn, decide to go into my Skarmory, and I believe he's just going to try to kill this thing off and go for Stone Edge. It's just because these things are boosted by the Sand Force, I believe, as well. And that does a lot. But I kind of tried to do some mental math in my head, and I was like, maybe I can live another one, kind of like how I did with the Hydro Pump, but that didn't work out in this case. So I lost Skarm. I've lost my ability to phase things out, which means that if Latias starts getting set up, it could be game over. So I decided to go for D-Dance just because I think he's going to be locked in on Stone Edge, and I do resist it, and it's all good. Now, the thing I wasn't really expecting is I thought he was going to be the Calm Mind Sub Recover Dragon Pulse set, the mono-attacking one. Or, you know, maybe Calm Mind Recover Dragon Pulse HP Fire. What I was not expecting was Calm Mind Dragon Pulse Blank and then Roar. I don't know what that last... what was it? It would have been Calm Mind Recover Dragon Pulse and Roar, which I think is his moveset. And I'm just here, like, boosting up, because I'm like, I'm going to need enough boost to outspeed Landorus, get the fuck out of my way. And Latias just phases me out, and I'm just screaming and kicking and cursing, because I could have had the game right here. Actually, I don't know about that. It really would have depended on whether or not I would have been able to take a hit from Landorus, especially if it had Hammer Arm, or I don't think they run that. They run Edgequake, U-Turn, and HP Ice. I think. So Hammer Arm is kind of in the minority, I would guess. But I decided to go out into Tentacruel just because this game is dragging on a little bit longer than it needs to. Tentacruel doesn't really have anything it can do about Latias at all. I don't even know why this thing is in. I'm pretty sure this thing is scald, but this thing's already paralyzed. I would much rather have it paralyzed than burned anyways. Just because, you know, he has the recover anyway, so I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about at this point in the game. Let me just get like 5 seconds to get my bearings, because all these turns seem the fucking same. But decided to switch in Scrafty, and yup. Okay, there's my turn. Okay, so he's going to switch out into T-Tar. I believe I tried to go for the crunch here just to take this thing out. I truthfully wasn't paying attention for like the longest time to the screen. But although the crunch doesn't do that much damage, I know the Drain Punch will take him out. And it's just going to be like, you know what, if he wants to switch in something else, I'll just get health off of whatever the fuck else wants to happen. So I didn't want to set up just because he does have the superpower. So naturally, I'm going to go for the Drain Punch right here. And that evens up the score a little bit, bringing the score to, I don't even know. I think I take out something else of his on this next turn just because I'm so close to full HP. This thing is Lumberry as opposed to anything else just because it is a DD Moxie set. So just in case anyone was wondering. But I take an Earthquake thanks to Natural Bulk. That Natural Bulk is really nice. And going to go ahead and take him out with an Ice Punch. And that brings the score a little bit more in my favor. So Scrafty doing some good things. Holy shit, I really wish I'd have been able to just have 2 Dragon Dances, and oh, that roar was so depressing. But Scissor's going to come in and take some spikes damage. Now here is the point where I'm talking that earlier when I said if I'd have gone for an HP Fire, this thing probably would have been dead. Or I don't know if I was implying that, but that's definitely what I mean to be talking about now, just because HP Fire probably wouldn't have killed him from full, but the spikes damage definitely would have taken over by now and taken him out. But now I have to deal with it right now. And I believe I switch out to Tentacruel and then make a double switch expecting his Latias. So at least I got that right. Now here I fuck up a good play with a bad play by expecting his Scizor to come back in yet again, expecting the crunch. But I go for the Drain Punch stupidly on this Latias, and it's just going to take me out with Dragon Pulse, and I'm just like, fuck, I should have gone for the crunch. I don't know what I was thinking. That was stupid. But I still have Volcarona, and Volcarona is going to be my main answer to this thing, so I got to take out everything else, and, oh shit. And then that's how I'll go about dealing with things. But I'm going to send it in right now just because I have a safe switch to it. So he decides to switch out, go into his Rotom Wash, and I believe I ended up going for the Bug Buzz just to get some damage off. It does a really good amount to the Rotom, and right here, I wasn't really paying attention to the lefties, but I think here in real time is where I caught on. I was like, this motherfucker isn't Scarfed. I'm Resto Chesto, by the way, in case I hadn't mentioned that. But I'm going to go ahead and switch out, and now that I know this is good information to have. You know, it means he won't be locked in on a particular move, and I just go for the Hydro Pump. I don't care if he kills this thing off. I really could not give one single fuck if he kills it off at this point. I'm just craving the safe switches into other pokes, and I believe all I have is Volcarona, and maybe I have Volcarona and Celebi at this stage in the game. I think Staraptor died to Scizor, Skarm died to Landorus, Scrafty died to Latias, and then I feel like I might have one more that fuck. Okay, Tentacruel just died, so there we go. And here's the matchup that we had earlier on in the game, and the HP Fire comes way too late, but it's better late than never. He maybe wasn't expecting it, but, you know, got the drop on him, and then that kills off that thing. So he's got Latias, and he's got Rotom Wash. I have Celebi, and I have Volcarona. Now, I think I have a little bit more of an edge on him typing-wise. So it's at this stage in the game where it's 2 versus 2. I need to play this out very carefully. Now, I do want to keep Celebi alive for Rotom, but I also want to keep this thing alive for this. So the best thing that I'm going to be able to do right now is to just go for a Bug Buzz, because if he switches out to Rotom, it will die to a Bug Buzz. So the best thing he can do is just stay in and take it and try to kill me off. Otherwise, he's not going to have a whole lot he can have going for it. But it almost fucking kills him off. Now, his own Sandstorm is going to kill him off, so that's fine. Doesn't really end up mattering too much. If he misses his Hydro Pump here, I believe he just ends up going for the Volt Switch anyway, just because it's 100% ac. No, he goes for the Hydro Pump. I went for Rest on this turn, just because I would have been able to get back up to full HP, just in case he missed. But I thought he would have run out of Hydro Pumps by now. Holy shit. And here, I believe we're at the stage in the game where it is finally the matchup that I've been waiting to do some damage with, which is Celebi versus Rotom Wash. And then it turns out he's going to go for the Pain Split. I'm going to go for the T-Wave because I want some para hacks going on, and I want to end this game now. So T-Wave is going to happen. This also lets me go first before him, and it's also going to let me get some stab Giga Drains off. So I have an advantage at this point, and that I resist both of his stabs. If he wants to get a burn on me, fine, but I'll be getting back his HP. So it's literally just going to be playing until we can get a paralysis. And then once the paralysis happens, I'll just finish it off from there. I believe I get it right here, or on this next one. I think it's right here. So I was kind of just, that was kind of just delaying the inevitable. But I believe that is going to be the game finally. If anyone's still watching this, bravo, just because I see this type of battle all the time. But I guess some people don't really see it from me. You know, standard-ish battles, whatever. We had that going on, and that's going to give me the 1-0 victory. I cannot believe this Celebi actually made it to the end. But physically defensive Celebi, physically defensive grass types are just kind of cool. So anyway, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you're welcome to leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing. And I believe that will do it for today. And that'll probably do it for the rest of the week. So I will see you guys Monday.